Yes, it's true, the Model 3 has officially outsold the Toyota Camry in California, which happens to be America's best-selling car. Why does this matter for the company? Well, 3 years ago, the Model 3 didn't even exist. We had the former vice chair of General Motors going on CNBC calling Tesla doomed and that they would never make money on the car. So it's a huge nod of approval when the Model 3 outsells America's most popular car in America's largest car market. By the way, here's that clip of Bob Lutz bashing the Model 3 back in early 2017.
If he can't make money on the high-end Model S's and Model X's, which sell, up to $100,000, how in the world is he going to make money on a $35,000 small car? Because I have news for you, 42 years of experience. The cost of a car doesn't come down proportional.
Now car sales are on fire, the company has GAAP gross margins of over 20%, and Tesla's profitable. So it just goes to show that a couple of years ago, there were a lot of people who thought that a profitable and mainstream Model 3 was an impossible task. And here we are. Now, every quarter, the California New Car Dealers Association releases sales data from across the state. And this year, they started releasing exact data from every top-selling model in the state. So after the first 6 months of 2019, this is what California's auto sales leaderboard looked like. The Model 3 was already outselling every single truck, every single SUV, and almost every car in the state of California. It was only the Toyota Camry and the Honda Civic that had more unit sales, although technically the Model 3 had higher dollar volume sales, considering the vehicle's price is far higher than the Camry and the Civic. But just the other day, the CNCDA released the third quarter data of all vehicle sales in California. And here on the leaderboard, you can see the Model 3 is still third among all vehicles in California, but in the last quarter, it has outsold the Toyota Camry, and it is closing the gap on second place. This is a healthy jump up from sixth place, where Tesla's Model 3 was at the end of 2018. And this continued strength we're seeing from Model 3 sales in Q3 is really important, because it was only 6 months ago that Tesla stock was in the dumps because of lower than expected Q1 sales. At the time, everyone believed that sales in the US had dried up after the customer backlog had been depleted, and that the only thing keeping sales alive was the international Model 3 rollout. Now that myth has been busted. There wasn't some demand cliff that would cause Model 3 sales to drop after initial pre-orders had been filled. In fact, the opposite of that has actually been true. Even with so many of 2019's Model 3 orders going out to international buyers, Model 3 sales in California and the US at large are still on pace to be 15 to 30% higher than they were in 2018. And this is even despite a 10% decrease in overall car sales in the state of California. So if all of this can be done without any paid advertising online or on TV in a bear market for car sales, I think it'd be foolish for anyone to say that Model 3 sales have peaked or are even near maturity. There are still lots of demand levers that remain for Tesla to pull on if they need a sales boost. In fact, their primary sales tool has always been, at least outside of Elon's Twitter account, customer referrals. And now with more Tesla drivers on the road than ever before, Tesla's marketing firepower continues to get stronger at zero additional cost to the company. I mean, there was a time when Tesla buyers accounted for like 0.1% of new car sales in California, even 1%. It was still easy to label Tesla as a niche automaker for eco-conscious tech nerds, but not anymore. In Q3, 3.9% of all new car sales were Teslas. That's almost one Tesla owner for every 25 new car owners. And that's tough to ignore. If you're in California, chances are you have someone in your neighborhood or someone in your social circle who owns a Tesla. And even outside of California, they're popping up all over the place. In Norway, Tesla's Model 3 is the best-selling car, period. And 15% of all new car sales in Norway this year are for Teslas. That's 1 in every 6 or 7 new car buyers driving off the lot in a Tesla. And at a certain point, all this social pressure becomes too strong to ignore. I mean, there was a day 8 or 10 years ago where you looked around at all your friends and you noticed they're all holding iPhones. And shortly after, that social pressure got to you and everyone else without one. Now, I don't want to predict that Tesla's adoption curve is going to look exactly like Apple's. There are lots of differences between phones and cars. But I think the idea that social pressure will fuel adoption is directionally correct. Maybe Tesla adoption is going to be centered in a few key markets to start. Maybe adoption is going to be slower than it was with smartphones. But one thing is clear, Tesla owners love their cars. There are more Tesla owners than ever before, and they are all recommending them to their friends and family. In Bloomberg's recent Model 3 owner survey, 99% of respondents said that they would recommend their car to family and friends. 98% said they would buy their Tesla Model 3 all over again, and 98% also said that the Tesla Model 3 surpassed all their expectations. And these approval rates are just off the charts. No other automaker comes close. So as we start to see more EV infrastructure being built all around the world, as more new Tesla owners turn into Tesla referring salespeople, I think it's just a matter of time before the Model 3 becomes America's best-selling car. Maybe even the world's. Call me crazy, but I just don't see Model 3 sales slowing down anytime soon. The company has so much momentum behind it. It has more customers than ever before on the roads, and those customers are happier than all other car customers in the world, and the car is clearly the most high-performing car in its segment. Let me know what you think. Leave me a comment down below with your Model 3 sales predictions.